So today I want to talk around experience. So experience is another factor that helps us improve our mental strength. It gives us resilience because there's a number of factors that are related to our experience. But experience itself is one of the really big key things that we have that allows us to develop what we need going forward into the future. So I've done a number of activities and I sort of talk about them a little bit here and there. So early on in my military career, I was deployed on combat operations, and it was the experiences I got in those first few years on combat operations when I was exposed to sort of my first few gunfights and my first few interactions with the enemy. Okay, moving into positions where I was going to get ambushed. It's those experiences where I start to understand the patterns around that. I start to understand the way I feel. I start to understand what the battle indicators are to let me know that these things are coming up in the near future. So as I sort of developed my experience, it started to give me confidence in being able to understand what was going on, to be able to understand what actions I had available to me, and be able to understand how I could respond and what was going on internally, so that I wasn't getting a number of false misinterpretations which were leading to unnecessary anxiety, because in these scenarios or these situations there's enough going on that you don't need any extra stress or worry. And then the experience from there started to allow me to understand and move forward into other environments. So there's a little bit of transfer around the experience that I had, and it's not just experience within the environments, it's experience around technical skills, experience around exposures, a number of these sort of things, and I'll get into some of these in more detail, that transfer into other areas and give us the skills going forward so that we're confident in our own ability to solve the problems as they came up. So going from some of the skills I got there, I was able to move into winter sort of expedition ultra endurance racing. And then as I started to gain experience in there, I became confident and comfortable in those environments. I was able to start to go and do much larger races, start to cover distances which are kind of, for me now, are reasonable distances, but you're talking around 1,000 miles, 1,600 kilometres, which kind of would seem as extreme or sort of ultra distances, but they're the kind of distances that through experiences and through gradually increasing my exposures, the experiences I'm doing, I'm starting to look at rationally, looking at just what is the process to cover that, not thinking that this is a really big gap or concern. It's just, how do I get this done? What's involved? What do I need to understand from my previous experiences to move forward to take into the new environment or the new challenge? What experiences do I have to disregard, and what experiences do I need to evolve or adapt on or improve so that I don't make the same mistakes in the new environment? Because we also want to learn from our experiences to understand where our flaws were, understand where our strengths were, so that we can grow and adapt going forward into new environments or new challenges. So experience is something that we want to make sure that we are getting enough of. We want to comfortably, or we want to actively engage in experiences, go in there, understand what worked well, what didn't work well, understand what we need to change, how we need to improve, how we can evolve going forward, and make sure that we're not avoiding experiences, because the more experiences that we get, the more varied and more diverse we become as an individual. So we gain cognitive sort of diversity, we understand different models, different patterns, and we grow our own range of cognitive or sort of mental tools that we have to solve problems as they arise. So if you're not getting out there, if you're not experiencing enough variety, if you're only sort of staying within what's comfortable for you, then you're sort of going to be aligned to a single path, or you're going to be limited in the way you see things differently, or your ability to see problems differently and apply different and varied solutions to those problems. So going out, getting varied experiences is going to increase your own cognitive ability. It's going to increase your mental strength, your capacity for resilience. Okay, and the more experiences you get, the more you actually start to appreciate new experiences. You go out and you actively look for them. So I encourage you to go out, increase your range and breadth of experiences that you have, try new things, and you'll find that a lot of these things that you do, they're not as bad as you thought, and they'll increase your mental strength and resilience overall and decrease a lot of the pain and the stress that you have, because you'll no longer have fear around a lot of the unknowns, because you'll experience them, you understand, and you're able to move forward. So I'll cover off on a lot more around specifics around experience, but just understand that experience is one of the key factors that we have that helps us develop mental strength, both from our development through what we experience and what we're exposed to, how we understand and appreciate, and how we develop from that, and then what we allow ourselves or we actively seek as far as experience going forward. So definitely get out there and get as much experience as you can. And I look forward to the next little topic.